Hello there. How are you doing today? We just left the Grand Mesa Visitor Center on roughly the southwest side of Grand Mesa. I'm on Highway 65, the Grand Mesa Scenic Byway. I am looking to go to Land's End today. That'd be kind of cool. It is 11:30 a.m. It is September 25th, and we are in some beautiful fall conditions. I hope the camera's catching everything the way that I'm seeing it. Well, maybe without my sunglasses. I have polarized sunglasses on. It really could be a help, actually. That's interesting. I'm gonna have to check the filter here a little bit. I was doing some research about this little trip on Google Earth, and I found two sets of really interesting bathrooms that not the bathrooms are that interesting, but I don't think I've ever seen them before. There's like a pull-off on the right coming up here, but I don't recall. Maybe once I see it, I'll understand why it didn't come to mind. Anyway, it looks like there's a turnoff and two bathrooms, and then it looks like you go behind some trees, and it's built behind trees, like sort of off of the road. And then it looks like a mile further, the same thing, but on the left side of the road. I'll get that. Oh wait, there you go. County line trailhead. Might be what this was. It could just been it could be a parking lot for a trailhead. I must turn right. All right. Look at that. So it's a trailhead. Okay. I wasn't really paying attention. I wouldn't have paid attention to a trailhead, and it looks to me like there are more than two bathrooms here. So that's cool. Looks to me like we got some horseback people. That's all good. Lady seems to be not so good with a horse. I've been around horses a lot, so I just kind of take my time around them. They're reasonably okay if you don't startle them. If you startle a horse and you're in its vicinity, you could, not a good thing to do. So there we go. And then a mile from here, 168.8, according to my mileage. Yeah, that means a lot to you, doesn't it? Actually, I started at mile 0 in Craig this morning at about 6:15. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I'm doing pretty good here. Mesa Top Trail. I don't think that's what I want. I think it's Land's End. Oh, okay, I get you. There we go. There's the other bathrooms are over there. It's basically what we drove through, just on the other side of the road. It looks to me like a mirror image. Okay. So I believe that, yeah, we're going to hit the Land's End Trail very shortly, and that's what I want to take today. I want to Land's End Observatory, 12 miles. We can do that. We've got lots of gas. We're doing good for time. So let's go. I'll just let this guy go. And I think I will play with my polarizing filter. I'll do that. Deep in the sky, just a little bit. I don't have any oranges or reds to look at. So my camcorder is truly a piece of work. It is a nice machine. It is a Sony AX10 FDR or whatever. Or is it an AX100? It's one or the other. It's a camcorder. I'll slow down on these bucks. It's a camcorder, and I like the fact that it does everything. A lot of people get a mirrorless mount, you know, like what used to be a 35mm camera, and turn that into their video camera. But to do that, you have to come up with your own audio, and then when you finalize your video, when you finish your video, you've got to sync your audio to your footage. Now, I've done a little bit of that, and I can tell you I don't like it. Not after having just filmed on a camcorder or on any other kind of little camera, just filmed the audio and video together and not having to worry about it. There are some nice things about this particular camera. It's got really good sound quality, so that's really nice. Stereo. If I want to put a microphone on it, I can. And we're really having to dodge some holes here. But it's a really high quality recorder, and it's done me a lot of good. I really appreciate it. This road is despicable. However, but I guess I didn't expect any different. So, okay. Well, just so you know, I am holding the camera in an attempt to dampen some of the bumps. It's really bumpy. I think the camera is strong enough to handle it. I just don't like it shaking the video. It's annoying. But this is a back road, and that's what they're like. And I can always slow down. You know, it's an interesting thing that in the 90s, when the Democrats started taking over all of the bureaucracies, you may not have noticed anything, but I sure did. I noticed that first there was the roadless initiative, and that was out of the 90s. 80s and 90s, maybe late 80s. And when the roadless initiative hit, and there were groups of people saying we got to shut down all this government land. People can't drive their cars on it. People can't collect things. People can't get out on it. The government was saying, well, some in the government were saying, this is our land and we don't want you assholes on it. But this is public land. It's always been public land. But around that time, they changed the whole paradigm of public land. The government took ownership of it. Now it's government land. And around that time, and because I've spent my whole life coming up to areas like this, my dad and mom drove us to areas, campgrounds and whatever, forests, Bureau of Land Management, BLM, which is not Black Lives Matter, but it is Bureau of Land Management. Probably the same people run it, the uppity people, the upper people. Well, till Trump fires them, Shelby does. The same people that were doing the roadless initiative were also affecting legislation. And they quit maintaining roads. These roads would have been silky smooth and beautiful if it weren't for the roadless initiative. That's my theory, because they wanted to keep people off these roads. We have no right to be on these roads. Let's go let this guy pass me. Let him dust up the road a little bit ahead of me. So there are roads out there that were taken care of. This road was probably beautiful back in the 80s and early 90s, and maybe even before that. This is intentional. This is not unintentional. This is not somebody that just can't plow the road. This is the way that the Forest Service wants these roads. Now go on. No. I'll let all these people go. All right. This might make me change my mind. If I get really mad, all of a sudden the filming just stops. Well, of course, I'm not live streaming. If I were live streaming and got really mad, I'd shut the camera off, turn around and go 80 miles an hour back to the road, because I could float over these bumps. But I don't want to beat my car up. I'm really not all that into beating my car. But like I said, this was intentional. This has been intentional for at least 20 years. Well, at least more than that, because 80s and 90s. So, yeah, 30 years, I guess. The quality of the roads, the forest roads, has gone to hell. Because the government, the bureaucrats, the unelected bureaucrats made that decision for us. So I am really glad anytime Trump fires one of those sons of bitches, he should fire all of them. All of the people, the decision makers that took this land away from us and that turned against us, making these national parks, well, this annoying to actually get through, to get in. This is completely intentional. There's absolutely no reason why this road has to be shit. But that's what they want. That is their policy. Fuck the public. This is not their land. Fuck them. That's what the bureaucrats think. That's what the bureaucrats have done. And that's why people are pissed off at the bureaucrats. I'm not the only person that knows this. Anybody who's spent a couple of decades anyway, going out in the hills, knows this. It used to be a source of pride for counties around here, counties and forest, government, to keep the roads really nice, to not have them just shit like they are right now. So, a good example, really good example, is in Steamboat. It's really funny. Steamboat, Routt County, and I live in Grand Mesa. I'm to the west. Of Steamboat by a few miles, 40 miles or so. Anyway, Routt County forest trails are shit. They're terrible. There's one in particular that is that goes up, called Buffalo Pass. It goes out of Steamboat, north of Steamboat, and it goes over the Zirkles into, I think it's is it Grand County? It could be Grand County. It's the county that the town of Walden, I believe they're the county seat. I think it's Grand County. Anyway, it's just over to it's basically to the east of Steamboat. Well, so when you get to the top of Buffalo Pass, coming from Steamboat, you are frazzled. Okay, that's big in here. Oh, I see one. Wow. Anyway, you are frazzled. Your car has been beat to death. The road is terrible. This is beautiful compared to that road. Oh, that's nice. Hope you can catch a little bit of that. We're looking up into Utah. Those mountains, I think, are you might see them. You might see just a little bit of them over to your left. I think we'll probably turn that direction. Anyway, get up to the top of this horrendous pass, and you get out of Routt County, and the road magically becomes beautiful. Better than this road. Much better than this road. From much worse than this road to much better than this road. Because Routt County has really taken it to heart to make their county dirt roads, really, really hard to drive on. Paved road? That's crazy. It's kind of amazing this was a paved road at one time. So what's this guy doing? He's got a nice rig. Four-wheel drive van. Camper sitting up high. Yeah, this is how that road used to be. Maybe. No, that road was so rough I was having to yell. Well, I believe I was having to yell. What I'm listening though is the, the background noise versus how my voice sounds compared to that. And so when the cars just were rattling along, yes, I'm yelling. To try to keep above that noise floor. Well, damn it, that was sure nice that we got a little bit of blacktop. Now we're going back into this. So I got my hand back on the camera. Huh. Gotta watch this road here really closely so I don't go into a big landmine. Yeah, the mountains up there, now the trees are hiding, damn it. Those are in Utah. I'm pretty sure we're looking up over Grand Junction and into Utah. I think Ephraim, I'm probably wrong about that, it's been a long time. But there are some really beautiful mountains. Utah is an awesome place. Oh yeah. We're getting a little better. I better go do that. I can't see. Couldn't see what was coming. Wow, bristlecone pine. I think that was a bristlecone pine. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I didn't get a really good look at it. It had the weathered, twisted look. There may be a bunch of them up here. But those, if that's what that was, they were up at the elevation and we're in that really, really tough to survive altitude, but there are some pretty amazing old bristlecone pines around here. Very neat trees. That's really cool. Oh, airplane. See that? You might miss him. He's flying about our level. Yeah, that's cool. What's he doing? Oh yeah, nice. There's some cliffs. Cliffs over there. I think it must be a tourist. Or he's just taking time to tour. Yeah. What a deal. Camera's doing good. Good. For my really quick researching of this mesa, the top of this mesa is almost 50 miles long, mainly east to west, but it's also pretty long north to south. It's the world's largest mesa. You can believe that. Whoever figures that stuff out. And typical elevation, once you're up here, is around 10,000. Looked to me like about 10,100. But there are high points up here too that go to 11,300. Yeah. Wow. Maybe that is it. Did I bring my compass? I should have. I don't know. Ah, yeah, compass. Good. I can figure out what's what. Oh, nice. I hope you guys can see some of this. I'm looking at the Grand Valley. There's no way that I'm going to be able to stop up here, get out of the car without bringing the camera and showing you this cool sight. It's pretty neat. I understand that video really doesn't give a lot of things the impressive punch that they actually have, compared to seeing them live. But I'll do what I can. I know. Show a little bit of this to you. Right, this guy. Actually, I can kind of see. going on here? Yeah, those probably are in Utah. I'm still convinced of that. Convinced of that? I guess that's reasonable enough. Try to hold this steady for you. I am walking, so keep your pets on the leash. I'm not sure what this was, but it does look closed. Let me just take a I'm not much of a tripod, am I? I never claimed to be. And I'm also looking at the rocks. So let's take a... Actually... do some zooming. So you can see what we're looking way out there. That's about probably 3/4 of a mile away, maybe a mile away. Back it up a little bit. We're looking southeast. We're looking out, way out there would be those are the Sangre de Cristos and the San Juans in southern Colorado. And then, I'm not sure what mountain that is. But it looks volcanic, doesn't it? So let me around, and in this valley is, I believe, the Uncompahgre River Valley, but also it could be the Gunnison. I think the Gunnison and the Uncompahgre flow through here. They come from our left and head out to our right. Over to our right is Grand Junction. So let me back this up. There's something over here. We'll go take a look at that in a moment. But I just want to swing this around and look back at the direction, roughly the direction we came. There's a road, by the way, underneath us that switchbacks all the way down. And we're about 6,000 feet higher, which will be about 1,800 meters higher than. And so there's the little car that we came in. So let me just back off. this again. Kind of pretty country. A lot of volcanic rock here. This is basically a big volcanic sill up here. So that makes sense that you see the kind of things that we're seeing. Not entirely sure what this is. Wow, look at that, a restroom. That's cool. Let's go a few steps down here and take a look. Yeah, so we're on a pretty big cliff here. Back that up again. Yeah, check it out. Looks like I'm on the women's side. I'm not actually needing to go. That's pretty cool. How steep is that overhang? Pretty steep. Got our little, where's he at? There he is. Hey little guy, what are you doing? I don't have anything for you. There he goes. Sorry little guy. Here comes another one. Huh? And there he goes. So this is a really cool view. Now I think that's out by Utah. Oh, here are our guys. There they go. Huh. So Highway 50 is down there somewhere. I can't see it. Anyway, that's the outskirts of Grand Junction. Actually, that's Grand Junction. Let me see if I can focus the Book Cliffs. The Book Cliffs are there. That's what you see when you're in Grand Junction looking up. So we're looking at them from the east, but when you're in Grand Junction, you're looking at them from the south. You're down in that green area. That's Grand Junction. And Highway 50 is way back over there. Yeah, I see it now. But it goes down that valley all the way through Delta to Montrose. Let's take a look at this. Very pretty. Look at that old tree there. And look at that. Kind of zoom out a little bit here. Let you take a look at that. There's our little guy again. How you doing, bug? How you doing, little goo? I don't have any food for you. Wish I did. I'm sure people come up here and feed you pretty well. You look pretty healthy, little guy. Whoa, pretty bluebird. What was that? You might have caught him. I just got a glimpse of this really striking blue. But that's pretty steep. 90 degrees would be a good, I mean, that's pretty good. Well, these little guys are everywhere, aren't they?
They are.
I have nothing for them.
I know.
They think that I do, though.
Yeah, generational situation.
But they look pretty healthy, so. Yep. Oh, cool. So there's a bit of the trail that switchbacks down. You can see just bits and pieces of it. That's quite a trail. That'd be fun to take that trail. Not today. You recording also?
No, just trying to do a little pano.
Certainly pretty.
Yep, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really nice.
Gorgeous.
I don't get up here often, so.
Yeah.
And
First time up here.
Is it your first time?
Yeah.
I think my parents brought me here when I was a kid.
Oh, awesome.
I remember being here, but it was a long time ago.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, spectacular.
it is 6,000 feet.
Yep.
That's pretty impressive. I think we're about like 10,000. So
I think 10, 10.3, 10.2, something like that.
yeah, that sounds about right. The valley floor's around 4. That makes sense. And probably 30 degrees hotter too.
Yeah, yeah. Heck. I'm 99, 99.50.
Wow.
Yeah, so I
99.50.
mean, I guess you come down, because when we were coming up, I looked and we were at 10.4 at one point, so we're around right
Were ya?
10,000.
I got all kinds of electronics in my car, but not anything that tells me the elevation.
Yeah.
But I looked on Google Earth yesterday and tried to remember it.
Yeah.
You have a good day.
Hey, have a great one.
Thanks. There's a place, there's a spot on Grand Mesa on the south or the north side, probably midpoint. I drove around it today. That is a big, huge landslide. I think that a forest ranger actually got covered up in it, but it looks like that white landslide could be 3 or 4 miles long. It's a long, what they call a long something landslide. But anyway, I didn't see it coming up here. I thought I'd see it, but the terrain is really, really rough on that side of the mesa in that particular area, so I couldn't see it. Anyway, I'm looking down in spots several hundred feet. Anyway, it's definitely pretty cool here. So, and then way off over there. Focus, there you go. There they are. I believe that is in Utah. That would be to our southwest. So it could be called, well, yeah, I think they're in Utah. Anyway. All right, let's make it back to the car. One last look at this cool building. It must have been a visitor center at one time. It's really a nice building though. All in shade, hard to see detail today at this point in time. Oh yeah. And way back over that way, we're actually up around, that would be up over towards Gunnison, Paonia, in that area. Gunnison's much further away, but Paonia is probably near those mountains. I think on this side of those mountains. Oh, I am sorry. Come on. Focus. It doesn't want to focus. There we go. Let's see if I can get that to focus again. Yeah, okay. There we are. And then that dark edge of that mesa is probably 3 miles from here. Really hard to tell. Really clean air up here. We're not driving on the roads. So I'll call it good here. There's our little car. I'll see you back in the road. Okay, we are back in the car. Heading back from Land's End on an extremely nasty road, but on an extremely pretty day. Let me take a moment to just my filter, roll it back. Actually, it's kind of neat that way. I'll leave it there for a little bit. I could go to 18 miles to Highway 50. Wow. That would be cool, except I don't want to beat my car to death. And I don't want to end up at Grand Junction, because that's a long drive home. It's pretty nice. I'm in no hurry. Okay, I'll kind of pull that back, or we might get some good views coming back this way, but you've already seen it, right? If this video becomes video, you're right in the big middle of it, I'm going to get out and walk around for 10 minutes, because that's what I just did. But this is kind of cool. We're looking back the way we came. And you can see a little bit over to your right that we are on a really high piece of property, and we're over a mile higher than the valley below us. Like 1,800 meters, roughly, something like that. 6,000 feet. And directly ahead of us are the mountains that are around Paonia. And Crested Butte is in that direction. There's that one kind of volcano-looking mountain that I don't know. I don't know what it is. There's a mountain standing alone over to the right of all these other mountains, over to the right of us and to the right of all those mountains, that is just a very volcanic looking mountain. That doesn't mean it's a volcano, but odds are it probably is a volcano. It looks like a volcano. Like that. I'm sure there are some amazing trails here. If I were a walking Action Kid needs to be up here. Yeah, I was thinking of Action Kid when I was walking with my camera. I was trying to walk carefully with it. Check that out. It's got a, look at that. Some of the, wow, that's pretty. That is really beautiful. The colors are just gorgeous. I hope you're catching some of the colors, because they're really pretty. But that guy was mad at me because he had to stay on his side of the road so he wouldn't hit me. And his side of the road had a big divot in it. I feel bad for him. Yeah, we are here. It's past peak up here on top of Grand Mesa, but not much. I mean, it may have peaked earlier today. I mean, it's really sunny. As the leaves are hanging on relatively well. Well, maybe not. But the leaves are coming off. Now, we had a pretty cold night last night. It probably dropped down into the teens up here. Maybe, but it was pretty cold. At Craig, it was a little bit above freezing. So, I mean, it's just getting cool. It's cooling off. That's what it does this time of year. The only climate change is the weather, you know, the seasons. This is a really pretty place, though. I'm as much as the road annoys me getting up here, and I did it, you know, my big dissertation on it, how the bureaucracies have intentionally made these roads bad because they don't want people on them. I'm glad that we got to get up here. Now that I do have to fight the river coming back, it won't be fun. But I'm not gonna worry. I'm not gonna haul ass. Time wise, we're doing good. It's 12:30. That's kind of nice. I'm probably not going to make it back to Craig by 2, assuming everything goes well. I don't break my car on this road. I think that, yeah, I will make it back by 2. It's almost a 2-hour drive from Rifle to Craig. Just to begin with, and I'm probably an hour and a half away from Rifle. 3.5 hours. 12:30, 1:30, 4 o'clock. That gives me an estimated time of arrival at about 4 o'clock. Getting home. Assuming everything goes well. Which I hope it does. Very pretty. I really wish I had even a wider field of view for you guys. You would see so much more, but it's still really pretty. I mean, what you're seeing is pretty much what I'm seeing. I am catching more off to the side, but I can, I can swivel and look. But it is pretty up here. My gosh, it is. It's the prettiest time of the year here. Although some winter days are just really gorgeous. They're, gray and blue tones rather than red, green, and yellow tones like they are today. But it can just be the sky and the snow and the atmosphere. Can be pretty amazing. I'll grab the camera a little bit, try to keep it from rattling too much. When I built this mount, I really did a good job. I made it really sturdy. I used really thick aluminum to build it and TIG welded everything together. I did a wood mock-up to begin with, so that I could get all my attachment points right and figure out how to brace it properly. So it's about as good as I'm going to get, as good as I could get. Well, commercially, I couldn't find a better mount. I couldn't find it. Actually, I couldn't find any mount commercially that would fit in here. So, and the very first video that I did, I believe I showed a picture of building the mount in this car. Because the very first video I did, I drove this car. It was a few years ago. And I started the video in Steamboat, and I drove all the way to, yeah, these are coming down, drove all the way to Granby, Fraser. I drove to Fraser. And I think I recorded the whole thing. Yeah. But I talked about the camera mount in that video. Showed a picture of it. For those people that are interested in that kind of stuff, I mean, I like building. I build things. If I'm not building a house, I'm building a guitar, I'm building a camera mount, or I'm fixing something for somebody, or, building a guitar. I've built several guitars and musical instruments, and I don't like the idea of calling myself a luthier, although I probably could. I've certainly built enough guitars, and so my nephew, who is also a guitar player, much better than me, and a builder, I probably haven't beat on the guitar building. He has me beat on the guitar playing, for sure. And that's cool. Coined the word guitarpenter. I like that. So that's how I feel about my skills. I really don't want to call myself a luthier. I think that's a little on the snobby side. The luthiers that I have met in my life, I just gotta say, they think a lot of themselves. That's not to say I don't think a lot of myself, but I'm basically just a regular guy. I mean, really, I have my own little niche. Niches, things that I do well, like we all do. But like I said, I just don't. I'm not feeling it when it comes to putting the wort or the Bluth here. So it gets Harpender works like that. Okay. Slowing down. Oops. Some cows hanging out in the trees. Smart creatures. It's cool out, but the sun is intense up here at this altitude. It's probably 60 up here, maybe 58, but the sun is out. Well, I'm just tired to hold this camera. Making it as much of a study cam as I can. I think that what I would like to do to continue this, we'll get back onto the Grand Mesa Scenic Byway, Highway 65. Then I think I like to go to the back. And I'm thinking maybe go to the back. Out this guy. Now coming out here, I was going a lot slower. Coming back, I've seen the road a little bit. It has some pretty rough patches in it, but for the most part, I'm able to float. Over a lot of it. be a little harder to dodge the bad stuff. Bad road. My feeling coming out is the quicker I go, the quicker I get off of it. Again, now that I'm being thrown around, thrashed around, and the Forest Service and the BLM don't have to do this. These roads don't have to be this way. This was an administrative, a bureaucratic, an unelected bureaucrat decided that we're going to have roadless roads, whether we like it or not. And they quit maintaining roads. They do the very minimal that they have to do on a mill. Hell, who knows, maybe they even go back through it and rough them up if they're not rough enough. So, quite an ordeal, but what? A lot less annoying. They're being hammered to death. Anyway, so that was Land's End, guys. So I'm going to call it good. If you're going somewhere, drive safe, and I'll see you next time.